Hi, I'm Dr. Anne Sylvestre with Focus and Flourish. The Jackson-Pratt drain is one of my favorite tools to use for wound management and reconstructive procedures. What I love most about it is that it's a suction drain. And the beauty of these suction drains, especially the Jackson-Pratt, is that it's very efficient in removing all the fluid from a space. It also tends to negate dead space just by the fact that it's going to create negative suction at the wound site itself. It's going to pull those tissues together and negate the dead space, which will prevent further fluids from accumulating because there's no more space for the fluid to accumulate in. The best part is that the patient remains clean. It often doesn't even need a bandage to cover it. So it's really neat and clean for the patient. And it is pretty easy for the owner to manage as well. Nothing bad about that. Let's take a closer look at the Jackson-Pratt drain. And if you've never used one, maybe you'll want to give it a try after you've watched this video. When we're talking about the Jackson-Pratt drain, we're referring to two components, the drain itself and the reservoir, also known as the grenade. The drain comes in two widths, 7 and 10 millimeters. And when we're talking about the width, we're referring to the width of the white fenestrated portion of the drain. Personally, I like the 7 millimeter width because it is plenty efficient for our small animal patients, yet it doesn't have the bulk of the 10 millimeter wide drain. So I tend to exclusively use the 7 millimeter JP drain. The grenade comes in 50 and 100 mils. This picture is of a 100 mil grenade, and it's the only size I've ever used. It seems to be the most popular size. It works well for our small animal patients. The grenade has two ports. One port attaches to the drain itself, and the other port is what I call the exhaust port, and it allows you to squish the air out of it, and then there's a plug that you use to close that port so it can maintain the vacuum. There's also a tab associated with the grenade so that you can secure it somewhere on the patient.
Here's a demonstration. Note that the Jackson-Pratt will come wrapped sterilely, and you can therefore sterilely drop the inner wrap onto your table. The white fenestrated area is clearly the part that goes into the patient, and it can be quite long. So if you have a smaller wound, you can safely cut it to whatever length you want. It's very important that the entire white portion of the drain be within the wound. Place your drain inside the wound wherever you feel is appropriate, and from inside the wound, make the tubing portion of the drain exit. Again, pick a spot on your patient where the exit's going to be easy to manage, comfortable for the patient, etc. Using a hemostat or a needle driver, as I did here, kind of poke it to the skin, incise over the skin, and then grasp your tubing, the Jackson-Pratt tubing, and just pull it through. Just to demonstrate here, you don't want to see the white portion of the tubing exiting. Make sure it is within the wound. Now you're going to close the wound. There's my closed wound. Now we're going to secure the tubing to the skin. I love the finger trap technique, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate. So just take a bite, and if my stab incision, I'm going to say, that allowed the tubing to come out is a little bit big, I might use my anchoring stitch, which is what I'm doing right here, just anchoring my suture to the skin, but I might use it to close up my stab incision a little bit if I find it's kind of big. So I'm just doing the regular 4 throws to make sure I've got a nice secure knot. There we go. Not tight. It's loosely on the skin, nice and secure. Place the tubing within your 2 strands of suture. So within the V that I like to refer that your suture creates. Come back to the top of your drain, the part you're working on, and then just secure 2 throws, 1 nice square knot. Go back under your tubing, crisscross your suture material, and back to the top of the tubing and another nice, secure, tight, you can see the tube's a little bit indented, square knot, so 2 throws. Go back under the drain, crisscross, come back to the top, another secure square knot. Nice and tight. There we go. I like to have at least 4 of these knots, but I enjoy doing that so much. Sometimes I'll do 6. Make sure your knots are secure and tight on that drain. Once you've got your 4 or 6 done, just cut your suture material. See how secure that is? Note that the tubing part of the drain can be rather long, so feel free to cut it and cut it straight across. My first cut was on a diagonal, and I corrected that. Then you take your tubing and you secure it to that port on the grenade, which is intended for the tubing, the smaller of the 2 ports. And notice it's fiddly, it's tight as it should be. Once you've done that, and remember, by now your incision is closed, and this is important, squish up your grenade and then plug it. With the wound closed, it will hold the suction. Of course, if your wound is not properly closed, air will come in and won't hold suction. But once you allow it to open, the fluid from the wound itself will start to make its way up the drain. And clearly, my makeshift wound is definitely not airtight. And then find an innovative way to anchor the grenade to the patient in a position that's easy for the client to get to. When you're done with the drain, to remove it, simply cut that 1 anchor suture that you placed at the beginning and then pull the drain. You don't need to cut all the other sutures. That's it.
I hope you found this video helpful. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.